I think it looks like linear to me.
Yeah, I would say roughly linear. If you put the word roughly or fairly in front of anything in AP stats, that's usually okay. So yeah, we would say this is fairly linear. I mean, it is kind of like as we're going up on the x-axis, the y-axis points are also increasing. So like it is fairly linear. So that would be the form of it, would be fairly linear. Direction is kind of positive. Now, in terms of the strength, we're going to get into this today a little more. But we would say this is kind of, just kidding. We would, oh, that's, all right, we're not going to see this box. We would say it is moderately strong just because the points here are pretty close together. They do get a little weaker here. But we're going to have a protocol we're going to talk about today for deciding like when do I say something strong or when do I say something is weak, meaning basically how close are the points to a line. So that's what we're going to talk about today a little more. So if deciding if it's strong or weak is kind of confusing right now, that's fine. We're gonna streamline that for you today. Okay, so a couple things to point out. I got my lessons backwards, but so here's what we've got for today. We're gonna do 3.1 part 3 together. There's some activities we're gonna do to spice that up, so get excited. And then Thursday, you're gonna do 3.1 part 2. And there's a practice assignment. This is already posted, so if you want to do it today, you can. If you need to get it done early out of the way, it is posted there. You are going to be responsible for 3.1 part 2, which for the most part is pretty straightforward. The computer does most of the work for you. You just have to notice some patterns, so it's not too bad. Okay, so if you've watched this show during quarantine, like I have, The Creek, which character are you? How are you feeling today? So this is David Rose. On a scale of 1 to 9, which David Rose are you today? Drop it in the chat. We got some 5s. I can feel that. I can't remember what he was doing in that episode. Why he was dressed up. He was hiding or something. Got some 4s. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Ooh, we got a 6. Yeah, all right. I tend to live in this range. I'm definitely more a 3. Lillian, what are you today? Which David Rose are you?
Probably 4.
Lillian's feeling a 4. Saul's a 2. Okay, great. You got a 5. Yeah, I can't remember which season this one's from and why he's like camping out in a cornfield. I'm not totally sure, but great. Okay. Thank you for checking in. So here's what we've got. We're going to do a 3.1 recap, which is via a quizzes. We're going to spice it up today. And then we're going to do a correlation guessing game. And it was going to be the people in class versus the people at home. But the only person here is Lillian. So it's going to be Lillian versus the world today for this last part. So we're going to go over correlation and understanding what that is, how to interpret it. So it's basically just a number, and we're gonna talk about basically what it does. So that's where we're at. Okay, I'm gonna try something. I've never done one of these, so okay. So you can log in this way. If you go to this website, you can put in a code, and then the other option is I believe. Hopefully this all works. I believe I can drop this link in the chat, and you can join this way. So give that a shot. I did turn it on earlier this morning, so hopefully the link is still alive. Okay, but go ahead. You can put a nickname if you want, but just make it school appropriate. Okay. We'll get some people logged in. And this is kind of like Kahoot, but at your own pace. So there's like a leaderboard and stuff. If you've done one, we're spicing it up with scatter plots. So. Okay, Lillian, is that you that just logged in?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. I think we got everybody. Counted 11 of you. Great. Okay, have at it. Don't get too excited.
So that's you get one. Oh, right. If you scroll down, it'll show you like good stuff. Oh, yeah, I guess that's. I know it'll show you every progress too.
Okay, friends. All right. Who is the smiley face? Oh, they probably can't hear me. There's like music. Oh, great. Okay. Nice. Okay. Am I clicking? Okay. I can't see anything. Okay. Okay, friends. Ed, thank you for participating. I hope you're containing your excitement at home. What questions do we have? Feel free to drop it in the chat or unmute yourself. What questions do we have about some of those things that were in the quizzes? Was there anything that you would like to ask at this time to make sure you're good on the concept? Drop it in the chat or feel free to unmute. I will awkwardly sit here and wait for a while to see if you have any questions. Tessa does not have questions. Thank you for confirming. Okay, if you do have questions, if they come up today, just feel free to drop it in the chat. We're gonna roll on, we're gonna press forward. We're gonna look at this picture today and we're gonna see what we notice about it. So I have multiple examples here of scatter plots, and in each of the scatter plots is a number value. So it's called an R value. So what we wanna do first is see what we notice. So look at the pictures, look at the R values, and see if there's any sort of patterns, similarities, differences between each of those scatter plots. Give you a second to think, and then I'll call on a couple people, see what thoughts we're having. Okay, Chris, do you mind unmuting yourself and telling us if you notice anything? Do you notice any patterns or differences, anything at all?
Yeah, so the first two are positive linear functions. The bottom two are negative linear functions, and then the two last ones are nonlinear functions, or just no association.
Okay, great. So can you so how do you know that? What told you that?
The dots kind of clump together to form a line.
Yeah, okay, so we can kind of see in these pictures a line emerging. And then this one is going up, so it's positive. This one is going down, so it's negative. Same deal with the middle ones, but what's the difference with the middle scatter plots? Saul, what do you think? What's the difference between the first two and the middle two? What do you got?
The higher the R value, the closer the dots are.
Ooh, okay, great. Yes. So these are closer together than these, right? So we would call the first two relationships fairly strong. We would call the middle ones weak. These would be a weak example. And then like Chris already mentioned, there's really no obvious line pattern in the last two. So the R value is 0. There's no obvious linear pattern. There's one other thing. Let's see if we notice it. Kai, do you notice anything else in this picture?
I think that the R value is kind of relating to the slope of the line, and so a perfect 1/1 slope would just be 1, right?
Okay, I like where your head's at. Yeah, so R can only be, this is something you might have learned way long time ago in like algebra 1, maybe. I think this used to be covered. But yeah, R can be 1 or -1. So if it's a perfect straight line, if it's going up or if it's going down, the R value will tell you a perfect relationship on the R scale, like what the, this range of possibilities for this R value. 1 is a perfect relationship, 1 or -1. So if you notice here, this R value on the bottom picture is negative and the relationship is negative. And this R value on the top is positive and the relationship is positive. So it'll also tell you if you're positive or negative just by the sign. So R can be between -1 and 1. And if you're around 0, nothing's going on. But the closer you get to 1, the stronger positive you are. And the closer you get to -1, the stronger negative the relationship is. What questions do we have about some of those noticings before we bop on to the next activity? Drop them in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself. Okay, so we're gonna give it a go. All right, so on your chapter 3 packet, or you can pretty easily put this on your own piece of lined paper. This is the page that we're on. I got these a little out of order when I was rearranging things, but this page. So you've got 3.1 part 3. If you do not have this printed out, that's okay. You're just gonna want 3 spots on your paper to do a quick sketch of a scatter plot and then have a quick description. We're gonna do a guessing game today, and it's gonna be Lillian versus the world. It was gonna be at home versus in person, but that today is Lillian versus all of you. So, okay, so if you have lined paper or something, if you don't have this printed, you just need a space where you're gonna have 3 dot plots. 3 dot plots, goodness, 3 scatter plots, and then where you're going to write the description. And we're going to do some investigating with the R value. So I'll give you a second to kind of get that out or arrange it on your own paper. When you're ready, drop a yes in the chat. I know you're good to go. Ooh, and exclamation points. Love that, Jake. Thanks for being excited. Love that. Okay, if you're ready to go, give me a yes so I can switch tabs. Make sure people have this sketched out if they don't have it printed. Saul, how you doing? Ben, you still there? It's like a seance. Show me his final life. Maybe we should place bets. Is Ben at his computer or is he not at his computer? Great, okay. Ben, hopefully you're still there. All right, let's, I hope I'm just like on at your house talking loudly and your household can hear it. Okay, here's what we've got. So I'm gonna generate a couple scatter plots. We're gonna talk about describing them. So I'm gonna generate the scatter plot here, and then I'm gonna generate the R value, and we're gonna kind of get a couple baseline examples of this is what the scatter plot would look like, and this is what the R value calculates to be. Now, if you're wondering how we get the R value, that's great. Thank you for asking. There's a crazy formula for it, but the computer's always going to calculate it for you. So you don't need to actually calculate it by hand. That would be very cruel. So this is the format when we're describing that we want to kind of get used to. So if you want to jot this down, you can. But basically it's one long sentence, but it'll get all the points for you in terms of describing a scatter plot. So we can say this is a fairly, and then you're going to choose, is it strong or weak? So how close are the points together? They going up or down? So is it positive or negative? Is it a line or is it not? So linear or not linear. And then between whatever your variables are, these are going to be general scatter plots today. So we're not going to have context today. And then we'll see if there's any outliers or unusual features. So these last two are not going to be as obvious today, but we want to make sure we get the first three. So strong, weak, positive, negative, line, or not. So let's generate our first scatter plot. Boom, there it is. All right, so you're going to do a quick sketch give me a quick description on your paper. We'll call on a couple people and see what we think. Oh, there's two birds. We have two birds on the feeder in case anyone at home is interested. I know you're dying to know about my birding hobby now. Okay. Ben, if you're still there, give us the sign of life. What kind of relationship do you think this is? Is it strong or is it weak? I don't think he's there. How many people want to bet? Ben is at his computer right now. I sure can. I'm gonna pop the sentence on again real quick in case anyone wants to see it. All right, Saul, what do you think? Do you think this is a strong relationship or a weak one?
I said it was a strong negative relationship.
Ooh, you went right for it. All right, so we did strong negative. How did you know it was negative?
The slope was going down.
It's all, yeah, as you're going up on the x-axis, the line is slanting down. All right. Cheyenne, did it appear linear or did it appear non-linear? What do you think?
Linear.
Yeah, it's very line-like. Okay, let's take a guess. The R value, which the computer calculates, and we're going to guess on today, can be between -1 and 1. So Aiden, enlighten us with a guess. Go with your gut. What do you think the R value is here? What are you feeling?
I'm thinking like somewhere around -7 or close to that.
So -0.7?
Yeah,
All
that
right.
one.
All right, let's check it out. This is actually a bit stronger than that. So this is going to be, I would write it on your paper so you kind of have an idea of this sketch, and this is about the R value, -0.984. So these are almost in a straight line, so it's very close to 1. But you were doing good with the negative and heading to the strong end of the scale. Okay, so that's an example of a pretty darn strong negative. All right, I'm going to generate a new sample. Ooh, this is a good one. All right, you can do a rough sketch on your paper if you want. Just kind of get where the points roughly are. Do a quick description. We'll call on a couple people and see what you think. This is a good one. It's a little tricky. All right, Jake, enlighten us. Do you think this is positive or negative? What do you got?
It's positive.
Okay, you're going with positive, all right? And we'll see if that checks out. All right, Cheyenne, do you think it is what do we say? Strong or weak? What's the next thing? Strong or weak? What do you think?
Weak.
Okay, why do you say weaker? I would agree.
Because like the dots are all over the place.
Yeah, and all spread out compared to that first picture. All right, Abby, do you think this is a line pattern or do you think it is not? Is this linear or not linear? Go with your gut. You think no? Yeah, so this one's tricky. It's a very weak relationship, so you can't always tell the pattern. But let's check out a guess here. Kai, what do you want to guess? What do you think the R value is? We think it's positive. It's not super linear. It's kind of weird. What do you think?
I'd go with maybe a 1, 2 area.
So 0.1 or 0.2? It's only between -1 and 1, so decimals are okay. Okay, let's try 0.2. Ooh, 0.17. Very close, very close. Go buy a lotto ticket. Okay, so this one is kind of positive. This point was the one that was concerning to me because it kind of doesn't fit this positive pattern. This point's definitely making things weaker here because it's pretty disconnected. This was the one that I thought might actually pull it negative, but it's not quite down far enough. Okay, let's try one more. and we're gonna do the guessing game. Let me find a good one. Ooh, all right, we're gonna try this one. Feeling spicy today. So, all right, go ahead and take a guess. Describe that sucker. See what we've got. All right, Tessa. I'm gonna call on you. Feel free to unmute if you want. Is this positive or negative? What are you feeling? This is a tricky one.
When I first looked at it, I thought maybe it could be positive.
Yeah, why do you say that? I kind of can see where you're going with that. Which points kind of tell you it could be positive, maybe?
Like, I just saw like the first 2 points like near the bottom, and then the first 2 points near the top, or the 2 points near the top.
Get my mouse over there. I lost my mouse. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Oh, God, I'm so blind. Okay, yes. There it is. I feel like I'm 80 years old. All right, so here is, yeah, these 2 points kind of go with these 2 points. Like if you were to draw a line, it kind of looks like it's going to be positive based on those two. All right, Chris, what do you think about strong weak? Tell us your thoughts.
I would say it's pretty weak because they aren't as close together as they could be.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's a great thought. They're pretty scattered. Okay, Saul, do you think this is a line pattern or not a line? Is it linear or not linear? This is a tricky one. Give us your best shot. You think it's nonlinear. This is a tricky one. It's to get another weak relationship. So this one is kind of a line. One part to kind of note, if it wasn't a line, it would kind of curve. Like we'd get some other points maybe down here that would kind of curve it like a rainbow. But these are a bit trickier. This is like barely a line, but it's kind of doing that thing. Okay, let's take a stab at the R value. Jake, what do you think? Kind of thought positive.
I'm
Sorry,
gonna
go
be
ahead.
bold and go with the 0.
Ooh, all right, you're just like a 0.0. All right, let's take a peek. 0.066. So it says 88. Oh my God, 86. I need glasses. All right, not bad, Jake. Yeah, these are like Chris said, pretty far apart. So it is slightly positive because technically this is a positive number and it does kind of go up a little bit, but it is a very, very weak pattern. So we wouldn't feel real great about predicting anything with this pattern. Okay, what questions do we have about the R value right now? We're looking at some examples, getting used to if it's positive or negative. Is it closer to 1? Is it closer to -1? If you've got any questions, feel free to unmute or drop it in the chat before we get to the actual competition of the hour. We'll wait awkwardly per usual. Joys of online learning.
I have a question.
Yeah, Jake, thanks for unmuting. What do you got?
So the R value, if it would be exactly +1, that would mean all the dots would be going up in a row, like none of them overlap. Is that what that means?
Yeah, it would be like your most perfect line. So it would be, everything would be perfectly like in a straight line. You wouldn't have any crazy overlapping, or if you did, it would be like, because maybe you got like the same point, like you may have 2 of the same points in a data set. Great question. Yeah, it's going to be a very perfect line. Any other questions? Sweet. Okay, we're gonna get to the guessing game. So Kai, I'm gonna nominate you as tribute. You're gonna lead the troops and in the virtual world. So here's how this is gonna work. This gets very heated every year. This competition of guessing the R value. So you have a few examples. I'm gonna generate a new picture. And the people at home, Kai, you're gonna kind of lead your giant group here. You can do it, I have faith. I'm gonna turn down my sound so Lillian can't hear you talking as an online group. But you're gonna have to come up and submit a guess for the R value. Lillian, who's sitting here, there she is. Lillian is gonna come up with her guess and we're gonna see who can beat who here. We're gonna do a little friendly competition of online versus at home, also known as Lillian versus the world. Okay, Kai, are you good with those directions? You're my leader here in the online world.
Yes.
Great. Okay, I'm gonna turn down the sound. You're gonna still be able to hear me. I'm just not gonna be able to hear you totally, but I'll see who's talking by you guys. You light up in blue. Okay, here's our new sample. Give us the R value. Give you 20 seconds to think, come up with a guess. People at home, we cannot hear you, so talk away. Come up with a guess.
All right, team.
Or use the chat. Lillian is not looking at her computer.
All right.
She's not.
So
We see that's negative,
Jake's
right?
talking.
Down.
Yeah.
It's
dude, Ben's back.
Ben is back.
Yeah.
If I were to guess, I would say negative 0.5 for the R value.
I like that. I like that.
Right in the middle.
I might go a little stronger, say like a 0.6 or 7.
Jeez,
negative.
okay.
Go a little crazy, but besides that, I think that it's very strong.
Yeah.
Negative linear line.
Yes, I do concur.
Moderate. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty close. I think we're all on the same page here. We got the direction right. We got the negative right. It's all spread out all the dots, so it's not like the strongest it can be, but it's definitely it's there. So
Right.
I think we're good with this guess.
All right, people at home, Lillian has submitted her guess. I'll reveal that in a second. What do we got?
So we're gonna go with a negative, moderate, linear line. Am I saying those words right?
You can. We just need a number. What R value do you think it is?
Ooh, okay. I think we
Would
settled.
you like another 10 seconds to confer?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to turn the sound down a little bit. You are being recorded though, so don't do anything shifty. Okay.
That's fine. Okay. So are we
Last year,
with
was
negative
it
point?
Carly's year? I think it was Carly Bronco.
Let's go with Tessa's guess with negative 0.6. I thought that was good.
I like that. Okay. Okay, we'll go with that then.
Okay, what do we have, people at home?
We're gonna go with negative 0.6.
Negative 0.6. All right, Lillian's guess was negative 0.2. I need to recolor my mouse. All right, we are at negative 0.794. So people at home got a point. Oh, you're just fine. You got a point. Okay, so these are all for reference.
We got it.
Yeah, you got the point. All right, you were closer. Okay, let's get a new sample here. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna spice it up. All right, boom. Ooh, this is a good one. All right, I'm turning down the sound, people at home. Go ahead.
All right, this one's a little tough. Okay.
I'm going straight 0, maybe 0.1, but it's positive.
You think it's in the positive range?
I do concur. That does look pretty positive to me.
All right. I would agree with the 0 to 1 range because there's not much of a line going on there, so we wouldn't be able to track it like that.
We
But
could be a little risky. We could go 0.05 if we really wanted to.
Oh,
I think it would be closer with like a 0.08.
0.08. I'm good with that.
okay. I like that.
We'll go with 0.08. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Come on, Ben. Come on. Come on. Come on. You get to
I'd rather speak than type.
All right, people at home, Lillian's got her guess. I'll reveal it in a second. What do you think?
We're gonna go with 0.08.
Okay, 0.08. Interesting. Lillian went with negative 0.38. So it's interesting that you guys see this as positive. This is a wacky one. And Lillian sees it as potentially negative. So the plot thickens. You put 0.38? Oh God, I'm deaf too. I'm deaf and blind. All right, 0.38 is what Lillian said. Okay, we're gonna check the guess. Does anyone see my mouse? There it is. Oh my God. All right, negative 0.067. So online people, you are closer again. This is a wacky, super weak one. It is slightly positive. It is going up a little bit, but it's pretty scattered. I mean, this is fairly weak. All right, spicing it up. Boom. All right, let's try this one. People at home, I am turning down the sound.
All right. So negative again. It's stronger than the first one.
Yes.
And what was that first one?
The first one was
Like a negative 7.4.
negative 0.7, yeah.
7.4, something like
And
that.
you think it's stronger than that?
Yes.
I would go with negative 0.75. I don't feel like it's that much stronger.
I might go with and in my brain I'm thinking like a negative 0.8 maybe. As like the strongest it can be.
I'm good with that.
But I would be confident with a negative 0.75.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, people at home, how are we doing? What have we got?
We're gonna go with negative 0.75.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, so Lillian went with negative 0.69. So let us reveal the answer. Okay, dun, 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 drum roll. Negative 0.6765. All right, so close. All right, goes to the at-home people again. All right, we got this. We're gonna try one more. Let's see if I can get a good one. Oh, there's a really good one in here. Ooh, we're gonna try this one, and then maybe we'll do one more after this. I don't know. All right, people at home, I am turning down.
Straight up, I'm going to say this is negative because if you look at the top 4 dots.
Yeah. And I would go negative 0.01 on this one.
Okay.
This thing is not very strong.
Negative 0.01 is
Yeah.
our answer. Okay.
All right, people at home, what do we have? Are we
We're gonna
ready?
go. Wait, Jake, you said what did you say? Negative 0.01.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Okay, interesting. Again, Lillian said negative 0.06. Okay. I swear I'm not 100 years old, but where is my mouse? Oh, I found it. Okay. Someone needs to tell me how to recolor my mouse. I can't see it. Okay, check the guess. Oh, it is positive. It is slightly positive. This is a great example. R is almost zero. It basically is zero. But this is a great example of essentially no linear relationship going on. But there is just, I'm going to guess it's probably this point or maybe these that are just pulling it positive. These were going up enough on this side to pull that positive. But the at-home people are going to take the W on that one again. So we got about 3 minutes left. What questions do we have? You may take a moment, drop them in the chat or unmute yourself. Sometimes that is quicker, but what questions do we have about R value? We've done some exploring today. Where are we at? Drop questions in the chat. If you don't have questions, you can put a no in the chat or all good.
What's the equation for finding this out?
Ooh. Lillian asked, what's the equation for finding this? I can show it to you, but it will make you cry.
Okay. That might be easier than guessing.
Oh, no, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's 100% not easier to use the formula. All right, Kai's good, Tessa's good, Erica's good. Thank you, thank you. Okay, any other questions though? Like if you're kind of feeling like, this is a great time to ask.
Are we never going to use the formula to find an R value?
No, oh God. You would have to calculate, so it's pretty crazy. You'd have to find the average of all the Y values, the average of all the X values. You'd have to find the distance between the values, every single value from their average. You'd have to square that. You'd have to like add it together. But it is extensive and not worth anyone's time because there's computer software that will do it for you. So you just have to know that it tells you, if something's positive or negative and how strong it is. That's what we roll with, but you're going to practice that again a little more tomorrow. So anything else I can address right now before you are off for the day? Cool.